Good morning, Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corbett Coleman. The House is expected to vote later tonight on legislation to increase the government's borrowing authority. The compromise legislation is drawing criticism from some Republicans and Democrats. But House Majority Whip, Republican Tom Emmer of Minnesota, says the bill will pass.
It is the first step.
Of course it's going to pass. It ain't going to go without money.
Process. And then, of course, there's an election next year where I think the issue will be how Republicans would spend your money.
They don't care if there was a natural disaster across the entire United States.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office has scored the debt ceiling legislation. It says it would cut federal deficits by about $1.5 trillion over the next decade. But savings that are trimmed out of the IRS will be lost because there will be a drop in tighter enforcement of tax collections. A federal trial is underway for a man accused of killing 11 worshipers at a building in Pittsburgh that's home to 3 synagogues. Defense attorneys began by saying Robert Bowers planned and carried out the massacre in 2018. It's considered one of the deadliest anti-Semitic attacks in the U.S. The defense hopes to spare Bowers the death penalty. Close to 2,000 Amazon workers in Seattle and elsewhere around the world plan to walk out of their offices today. For member station KNKX, Liliana Fowler has more.
The walkout in downtown Seattle is expected to happen around lunchtime. Hundreds of Amazon employees will stage a protest in front of the company's botanical spheres that make up part of the Seattle-based company's headquarters. Employees say they're protesting a return to office mandate that requires employees to work at the office at least 3 days a week. Workers also say they are frustrated by recent layoffs and a lack of action by the company on climate change. For NPR News, I'm Liliana Fowler in Seattle.
The U.S. is condemning North Korea's failed attempt to put its first spy satellite into orbit. NPR's Giles Snyder reports the White House says the launch violated multiple UN Security Council resolutions.
The National Security Council spokesman issued a statement saying the U.S. condemns the North Korean launch because it used ballistic missile technology. The North is banned from using ballistic technology by the UN Security Council. The White House says it's assessing the situation in coordination with U.S. allies, Japan, and South Korea, and is urging North Korea to return to diplomacy. The launch prompted air raid sirens to go off in the South Korean capital, and the Japanese government issued an emergency warning for the southwestern Okinawa prefecture. North Korean state media say the rocket crashed into the sea off the Korean peninsula's west coast, and that North Korea will attempt a second launch as soon as possible. Giles Snyder, NPR News.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down
escalate war
273
elsewhere because
points.
you ain't going to be able
The
to pull off
Nasdaq is
no
down
assault from
90
Ukraine.
points. This is NPR.
So divert your attention to
Sudan's
other
military
places.
says it has suspended its participation in
That's the
talks with the
scheme.
paramilitary force that it is fighting for control of the country. A ceasefire that was just extended on Monday may collapse. It was set up
Distracting
to
you
get emergency aid to
they
civilians.
actually
There have already been
can't do
reports of
anything for
fighting,
Ukraine,
especially
so
in
they're
the
going to
capital,
distract you with other
Khartoum.
wars.
The U.S.
And that's
and
going
Saudi
to take over
Arabia
the news, and they're
brokered
just going
the
to pretend
Syrian
like they forgot
ceasefire
about Ukraine.
and haven't commented on the latest
Because they're
development.
building it.
A new report
Maybe they'll
says
get pizza
Japanese
stills out of it.
automakers have been slow to make the shift to electric vehicles.
But
NPR's
I
Camilla
would think
Domonoski has more on the findings from the International
end
Council
soon,
on Clean
considering they're
Transportation.
end up
This is the nonprofit that
elsewhere.
famously busted Volkswagen for cheating on emissions tests. It wanted to see how hard companies are actually working to get ready for a switch to electric vehicles. One of the authors, Zifei Yang, says companies are not all equal on this.
We definitely see some manufacturers is more ready than the other manufacturers.
Not so ready? Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mazda, and Suzuki, all from Japan, as well as India's Tata. At the front of the pack is, no surprise, Tesla, the electric revolutionary. BYD was close behind. The Chinese automaker used to make gas-powered cars, but now only sells EVs and plug-in hybrids. Camila Domonoski, NPR News.
Typhoon Mawa is moving toward Japan, but it has lost much of its strength. Top sustained winds are about 75 miles per hour. That's far from its strength when it made landfall on the Pacific island of Guam. No one was killed in the U.S. territory. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News.
The news can feel incredibly overwhelming.
Amazon.
For a
Skip.
In NASA News. NASA and SpaceX are targeting 12:35 p.m. EDT Saturday, June 3rd, to launch the company's 28th commercial resupply services mission to the International Space Station from Launch Complex 39A at the agency's Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
Those things normally go okay.
En una ceremonia celebrada el martes en el Palacio de la Moncloa de Madrid, España se convirtió en el 25º país en firmar los acuerdos de Artemis. El administrador de la NASA, Bill Nelson, participó en la ceremonia de firma por parte de la agencia, y Diana Moran, la ministra de Ciencia y Innovación española, firmó en nombre de España. During the ceremony at the Moncloa Palace in Madrid on Tuesday, Spain became the 25th country to sign the Artemis Accords. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson participated in the signing ceremony for the agency, and Diana Moran, Spain's Science and Innovation Minister, signed on behalf of Spain. NASA will provide live coverage of the undocking and departure of Axiom Mission 2, AX-2 private astronaut mission from the International Space Station before crew returns to Earth. NASA is seeking industry proposals for a next-generation LTV, lunar terrain vehicle, that will allow astronauts to go farther and conduct more science than ever before as they explore the south polar region of the moon during Artemis missions. In weather. In Seattle, it's 52 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can look for lots of clouds, with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 48 degrees. From NASA.
All right.
NASA and SpaceX are targeting...
Amazon, off. Amazon, tell us a joke.
Did you hear about the pig that joined the Royal Shakespeare Company?
No.
He was a natural. Hamlet.
Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, I might have heard of Hamlet. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Woden Day. Wednesday.